Picture this: a small band of warriors, outnumbered and surrounded, making their final stand against an overwhelming enemy. This is the Battle of Shiroyama, the last gasp of the samurai and one of the most dramatic moments in Japanese history. Today, we are diving into the story of this epic battle, what caused it, what happened, and why it marked the end of an era. Let's get started. The Battle of Shiroyama didn't happen in a vacuum. It was the culmination of a much larger conflict, the Satsuma Rebellion. In the late 19th century, Japan was undergoing massive changes. The Meiji Restoration had overthrown the feudal shogunate and modernized the country, but not everyone was happy about it. The samurai, Japan's warrior class, found themselves obsolete in a world of guns, factories, and Western-style armies. The rebellion was led by Saigō Takamori, a former samurai and one of the heroes of the Meiji Restoration. Ironically, Saigō had helped bring about the very changes that now threatened his way of life. By 1877, he and his followers had had enough. They rose up against the government, fighting to preserve the samurai's honor and traditions. But the rebellion was doomed from the start. The samurai were outmatched by the modernized Imperial Japanese Army, which had better weapons, training, and numbers. After a series of defeats, Saigō and his remaining forces were pushed back to their final stronghold, Shiroyama, a hill near Kagoshima. On September 24, 1877, the Imperial Army surrounded Shiroyama. Saigō Takamori had only about 400 samurai left, while the government forces numbered over 30,000. The odds were impossible, but the samurai were not fighting to win, they were fighting to die with honor. The night before the battle, the Imperial Army bombarded the samurai with artillery, weakening their defenses. At dawn, the government troops launched a full-scale assault. The samurai, armed with swords and a handful of rifles, fought fiercely, charging into the enemy lines in a desperate last stand. Saigō Takamori led the charge, but he was soon wounded. According to legend, he asked one of his loyal followers to help him commit seppuku, the ritual suicide of the samurai. His death marked the end of the battle and the end of the samurai era. The Battle of Shiroyama was a decisive victory for the Imperial Army, but it came at a cost. The government forces suffered heavy casualties, and the rebellion had exposed deep divisions in Japanese society. For the samurai, the defeat was catastrophic. The Satsuma Rebellion was the last major uprising against the Meiji government, and its failure marked the end of the samurai class. The government abolished the samurai's privileges, including their right to carry swords, and Japan continued its rapid modernization. But Saigō Takamori's legacy lived on. Despite being a rebel, he was later celebrated as a national hero, a symbol of loyalty, honor, and the old ways. Today, he is often called the Last Samurai, and his story has inspired countless books, movies, and legends. The Battle of Shiroyama was more than just a military clash. It was the end of an era. It marked the final chapter of the samurai, a warrior class that had dominated Japan for centuries. What do you think? Was Saigō Takamori a hero, a rebel, or something else? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more fascinating stories from history. See you next time.